Hey everybody. So happy new moon in Scorpio. Happy new moon in Scorpio. We also have some really big shifts this week. We have so much going on with Jupiter shifting, Mercury shifting signs, Mars, Uranus, the nodes have shifted. So this week is a very, very big shift week. So I'm Brandy Joy. I've been drinking a little wine, so hopefully my teeth don't look all purple, but I think they do. So anyways, thank you for joining me. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader for the week of November 7th, 2018. And today is the new moon in Scorpio and the last day of Jupiter in Scorpio. And Jupiter's been in Scorpio for about 13 months. And now it is finally shifting into Sagittarius tomorrow. So we are at the final degree. And the nodes just shifted. They went from the final degree of Leo a couple of days ago to now they are in Cancer for the next couple of years. So be ready for some big changes in your life. Hi Pamela, Wine Wednesday for sure. I just had a little dinner and some wine with it. So yeah. Right, so we have some big shifts in store, and for those of you in the Vibe membership, I do have a special horoscope for you this week that is now posted. So if you haven't got in there and watched the new horoscope that I did for all of you, it is on Jupiter and how it's going to affect you over the next year, the next 13 months, okay? So if you're in Vibe membership, jump in there, go down to the bonus section where I have horoscopes, and you can learn about how Jupiter will be bringing luck into your life over the next year. So make sure you do that. And we also have a new Pluto lesson in there as well on the evolutionary stages of the soul. So jump in there and watch that, okay? All right, so I want y'all to think about this as we get started here tonight. I want you to think about 12 years ago, okay? So the end of 2006 till the end of 2007. What was going on in your life, right? Because that was the last time that Jupiter was in Sagittarius, right? And when Jupiter was in Sagittarius the last time, now it's in your same house in your astrology chart as it was then. So it's going to be affecting you in a similar fashion. Now, it will be different, of course, because there are different aspects to it now this year. And it's also that you've hopefully grown from that experience and now you're at a different level of the same house, but it is affecting that same house, that same area of your life. So if you're not sure, jump in Vibe membership and you can learn about how that is. But think about 2006, from November 2006 to December of 2007, and what big changes were coming in your life, what new opportunities arose, new growth experiences you had during that time, especially if they had to do with travel, you know, anything to do with Sagittarius energy, which is travel, philosophy, higher education, higher mind, expanding your mind, different cultures, publishing, teaching, you know. So those types of areas in your life are especially affected. So those types of archetypes in your life are especially affected. So if you did some traveling in 2006, 2007, now this is the end of 2006 through the end of 2007. Okay, so it's really 2007. Right, so if some big changes happen to you, you maybe were traveling and you got some new perspectives on life and things, that you might have something like that happen again. Now again, it's going to take it to the next level because you already had that experience before. So now you're in a different stage of your life, so it's going to be a little bit different. But hopefully, you know, and those could be other aspects that were happening as well, Cindy. So if you go back to 2007 and you're like, oh wait, but all this bad stuff happened to me. Well, that could have been other aspects in your chart. It could have been the nodal aspects that year that were affecting you, the eclipses and things like that. So with the Cancer Capricorn shift that we're having right now, that's what just happened, right? Jupiter changes signs tomorrow. The nodes already shifted yesterday, okay? So this whole Jupiter thing that's going on Thursday, tomorrow, right? This is a big shift, and it's being kind of, you know, a big like, hello, today on the new moon in Scorpio. Because the new moon is in Scorpio, which is to set new intentions, that energy, okay, of Scorpio, but Jupiter is in the very last degree of Scorpio. So Scorpio has a lot to do with rebirth and crisis energy, deep waters, right? Depth, secrets, intimacy, things like that. And so that is now shifting, right? That's right now in this month, it's shifting. It's going, okay, are you ready to let go of that old stuff and that old emotional turmoil and shift into a more positive, more expansive energy? Okay, so this is going to be a very different energy as we shift, right? And now, not only did that happen this week, or is that happening this week, but the north nodes have also shifted. So the north nodes are about like your role in life, okay? And so it has to do with like your past lives and who you're becoming. And also on a more grand scale, it has to do with the world, okay? So think about it this way. We had the north node in Leo the past year and a half. Now it's shifted into Cancer. It's now in the Cancer-Capricorn axis, okay? And so the south node is in the Capricorn axis, and the north node is down in the Cancer axis of your chart. So if you look at your personal chart, you can see what you're supposed to be learning and developing over this next year and a half, like in terms of roles in your life. But on a grander scale, think about this, right? Capricorn is authority. Capricorn is the patriarchy. Capricorn is the father and tradition in that way. And then you have the Cancer, which is the mother aspect, the emotional body, more of a matriarchy, right? So now we see that shift where over this next year and a half and these eclipses and stuff, it's going to be affecting authority. And it's going to be affecting people in their healing their emotional wounds. All right? So if you look at your chart, you can see where the nodes are and where they're going to be affecting you in terms of the roles you should be taking on this lifetime. So it'll be kind of shifting some things in that house, or in those two houses really. Letting go of old securities, the patriarchy, and coming into the new, right? Which is what is happening right now. There's a big shift. And it's funny, the elections happened during this, right? So it was very interesting to watch, you know, what was going on there. The new amendments, you know, there's a lot of shifts going on in that regard. And that has to do with the nodal axis. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, this new moon in Scorpio is trining Neptune as well, which is great for psychic work, great for any type of meditation that you might want to do. It's good for that. It's good for being able to do that more effectively right now. And it's also in a nice aspect to Pluto as well, and Pluto rules Scorpio. So this is about self-mastery, self-transformation in terms of like changing your perception on your life and getting more control over your boundaries and getting more control over, you know, what is right for you and what do you need to shift in your life to make your life better right now. And that's kind of a highlight, but a lot of people do feel foggy because we still have the Venus retrograde going on along with a harsh Mercury aspect. So there is some cloudiness, but it's almost like the universe is saying, hey, you know, pay attention here, pay attention here, start doing some more meditation here, start, you know, really tapping in so that you can get some more clear perspectives coming up as we shift into this new consciousness over the next year with Jupiter. Right, so this is about psychological healing with this Scorpio moon. So if you're trying to set a new intention this month, right now, with this new moon, it's good to think about psychological healing, spiritual connection, anything to do with sex or intimacy is good, like developing more intimacy with someone. Psychic development, of course, right? I can't say that one enough. Psychic development, intuition, right? But also debts are a big issue with Scorpio because Scorpio has to do with other people's resources. And so you owe other people, right? So debts are a big focus as well. So if you want to set a new intention for your debts and budgeting, this would be a good time to do that. Okay, and this is about breaking free from like emotional burdens. It's about breaking free from old baggage, you know, because this is a rebirth aspect. It's about, you know, the Phoenix energy, which is burning it down, right? So you have the Phoenix, which becomes the ashes. So there are things in your life that you need to just allow it to let go, allow it to burn down. And then you are reborn through that. You know, I talked about that the other day, solve and coagula. You know, solve is dissolve. Dissolve, burn it down, become the ashes, and then rebirth into the new you that you should be becoming with these north nodes and all this change and all this shift going on right now. Yeah, release, definitely. So yeah, you know, this is a time of true connections, a time of like deep waters. So shallowness, you know, is not a thing right now. You can't, nobody can even like touch shallowness right now. It's all about, you know, trying to figure everything out, trying to understand things, and really just diving deep with the Scorpio energy and trying to dig and figure stuff out with your life. So with this Jupiter, though, in Sagittarius, you know, it has a lot to do with humanitarianism. Jupiter is in its own sign for once in quite some time. And so it's about humanitarianism. It's about expansion in terms of, you know, understanding and seeking knowledge. You know, I was talking about that at the beginning a little bit with the teaching and learning aspect. You know, and this Scorpio energy is about your mental health. It's about crisis energy and letting go, and power. Right? And power causes crisis. So your own power has probably been going through a lot of transformation lately, especially right now as you're shifting. Right? So as we move into this, it's going to be more about education and learning new things and spiritual development. You know, publishing and travel are big things too. It's about finding your own truth and your own meaning in life. Yeah, the Phoenix, exactly. And we also have Uranus retrograding in Aries. It just shifted back into Aries. We have so many planets that are shifting into new signs right now. And so that causes a lot of like chaos, a lot of busyness going on, you know, just a lot of shifting, a lot of feeling like things are just up in the air and trying to figure out where they're going to go back down into place, you know. So this Uranus in Aries is going to be the next 6 months. And that's about, you know, freedom from restriction and trying to transform your life in a better way in terms of freedom, in terms of your, you know, your own expansion beyond the boundaries of your life. We also have an interesting aspect on Friday. On Friday, we have Venus and Mars in a very nice aspect. They're in a trine together on Friday. And that is all about developing a deeper connection in terms of if you're in a relationship. If you're not, you could meet someone possibly that you have a connection with. So this is going to be a good connection type of aspect for many people on Friday, which will be good. But we have a lot of harsh aspects and a lot of shifting this week. So just be aware of that. But Friday will have a little bit more of a harmonious feel to it in terms of, you know, just connecting and things like that. Yeah. All right. Aw. Well, thank you, everyone. Yeah, communication is off because Mercury is actually in, what's it called? Mercury is in a harsh, it's in Sagittarius. And so it's like, ouch. Yeah, Mercury is not in a good position right now. So communication is Mercury and perception. And so that's why I was saying that, you know, Mercury is in a harsh aspect. So you're not feeling quite clear about things. Right, so there's a lot of fogginess right now, and that has to do with Mercury and Neptune that's going on. So those are creating a fogginess, I will tell you that. So I'm going to pull a card for all of you, all right? So nice to see you too, Charles. Yeah, you're right though, Melanie, for sure. All right. The King of Cups. So the King of Cups is controlled emotion. So the King of Cups is Cancer, and we have the North Node now shifted into Cancer this week, as in the past 2 days. And so this is the Cancer energy. This is saying, you know, it's about developing yourself emotionally, but under your own control. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going to be emotional. It's more like, okay, you know, I am going to allow my vulnerability. I am going to allow my emotions to expand and to be what they are without letting them go on fire and go crazy or anything like that. So what the card is telling you is this week, as everything's shifting, you know, keep your emotions under control. Don't let things get out of hand, because there's a lot of crisis energy right now, a lot of fogginess, you know, but use that Cancer healing energy. And this is a very introverted energy. So it has to do with like healing yourself and, you know, being more in the home environment and a little bit more calm and restful and nurturing to yourself. Okay, so this isn't about, you know, going out and having a good time this week. This is more, because that's a reckless energy with this kind of Scorpio energy and the Cancer energy that we're shifting with. So this is a watery energy, but it's emotional, but it's introverted water. So it's more about healing, you know, and just kind of being there for yourself in terms of your inner child, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable in a healthy way, and not putting yourself out there and just being reckless with other people's emotions and things like that. Okay? So, yes, nurturing energy this week, for sure. Nurturing, nurturing, nurturing. Very good. Because we shifted into Cancer North Node, so all about the self-healing, right? But we also have this shift out of Scorpio, and so this is a very intense energy, a very deep energy, a very emotional extremes, okay? And so that's why that makes sense to kind of bring it down and be more in your home environment and more inside yourself and more nurturing and more meditation and things like that would be very good for you this week. Yeah. And self-love. Yes. Yes, absolutely. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you in the Vibe Tribe membership, make sure that you go in and watch your horoscope for the next year. I have it in the bonus section at the bottom of the page. So if you do want to know how Jupiter's affecting you over the next year, make sure you jump in there and you take a look at that Jupiter horoscope, okay, that I posted for you. And if you have questions, I would love to hear where your Jupiter is in the Vibe membership. So tell me where your Jupiter is, and we're going to be having a big class discussion tomorrow night on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will see you all very soon. Love and light. Thanks for joining.